Let's get a bit more on this now from Sipho Mantula. He, of course, is an expert on affairs of Africa and African politics. He is with the Thabo Mbeki Leadership Institute. He joins us now. Sipho, good afternoon to you. I don't understand this. I mean, if the African Union has a policy of rotational leadership, rotating regions, Southern Africa's never been in the leadership of the Pan-African problem, what argument is there against it?
Afternoon, Stephen, even to the viewers. I think what you are raising is quite correct, but it's the issue of them not understanding the legal opinion. That office of the legal counsel coming from Addis Ababa, that was read by your colleague there, it is correct what they have raised, that there might be some irregularities that they are now going through. But when I was looking at the first stanza today, or what we can call the second round of the tussle and this mayhem, is the role of this ad hoc committee, that within that committee, one can pick up divisions even when that letter was being shared with them, either yesterday or a day even before. But when you look at the AU policies or the article that deals, or not even an article, protocol actually, that deals with the Pan-African Parliament when it is talking about elections, it's Article 5 and 6, but they are very silent on many issues that talks about rotational principle. Another aspect that is very critical is that these members of Parliament, they are now giving us a continental shame, continental embarrassment, that we are not able, even if when we differ with interpretation, they don't even allow the clerk of the court, they don't allow the ad hoc committee to deal with this matter. But what I can pick up, it is that this will be seen as one of the challenges. But I'm very concerned again, SG, about AU Commission only communicating on the streets of Twitter. When I'm talking about the streets of Twitter, I'm talking about the AU chairperson, Faki Musa, when he was just saying that it is shocking, but there is no repercussions, there is no consequences being taken by the AU Commission as the principal mother body.
Sipho, we live in such a cynical age. I mean, is there anything in it? I mean, this is a consultative body, doesn't pass laws. How important is it to lead the Pan-African Parliament? And I don't mean to sound cynical, but is there control of resources or something?
Definitely. One of their functions is to deal with budgets, control resources, determine agenda. But let me just take you back, Stephen. What we are raising, Malabo Protocol of Equatorial Guinea emphasized that they might be having influential powers or what limited legislative powers, but still the heads of assembly, which is the heads of state, they are the ones who can ratify and endorse their role. But like you have said, parliaments all over this continent have become not the site of struggle, but the site of misunderstanding of their roles, first of all, and at the same time, the role of other supporting structures at the AU. And this parliament, remember that South Africa has bared the brand of funding it. We've bared this brand of even securing the infrastructure there. But people who are working there, even Stephen, that if I can tell you what has been said, is our PR exercise. Do our ordinary people know about that parliament? Very few university learners, they will visit it, and when they visit there, still there is nothing that parliament that they do engage on, rather than thinking of their podiums. And another strange thing that we are seeing now is the opposition parties, members who are part of the parliament, taking the center stage, trying to now show that this parliament now has to change its rules, and at the same time agree that maybe this is the right time for SADC to lead the parliament.
The Pan-African Parliament, Sipho, is supposed to be a step towards African unity. Now, we realize when other continents have tried to, and other regions of the world have tried to bring down borders, in our case, colonial borders, we know it's a long journey. But the Pan-African Parliament is an important step. When we see, I mean, literally people pushing and shoving, kicking each other in one case, I mean, it shows you how far this journey is.
No, definitely. This is the long journey which I've been reiterating, that this is not the journey only of 19 1963, but it's a journey of 2001 and 2 in Lome, in Libya, where they were looking at that you cannot achieve integration, development, if you don't harmonize your laws. And again, this parliament, its role again is to deal with the challenges that are facing this African continent. And those challenges are being seen on a daily basis. And that's where I think that's where they are missing their role and mandate. And at the same time, I think the AU commissions against it. This has been the trend, SG, and I think our media in this country must be careful that the issue of the SADC bloc and the ECOWAS bloc, or what you can call the Francophone bloc, they have been having this battle of ideas at the AU organs on a regular basis. But when it comes to elections, it becomes ugly, it becomes complex, and I have said even once more, the 2013 debacle of the AU chairperson of Jinping and the then Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, it was highly contested as well. And at the same time, you can see even the current CEO of AU, Faki, he has already gone for the second term. And there is still contestation even from other regions of the African continent, because what you have raised earlier, it is true, the one who leads the institution manipulates, monopolize, deal even with the HR personnel issues, which are not necessary. So you might find that there is something that we might call the capture of our continental parliament by our own members of this continent.
Sipho, I mean, there's a bigger conversation. You and I are both from Southern Africa, and we see things from in South Africa at the moment. You travel a lot more in the continent than I do. But for other people, I mean, if you're in Francophone Africa or West Africa, and you look at the fact that Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, as she then was, became chair of the African Union Commission unexpectedly. I mean, you look at the fact that the Pan-African Parliament is hosted by South Africa. Might you think a bit like a lot of other countries think about the United Nations? It's dominated by the United States because it's in New York. Could some of them feel they're trying to save it from South African domination?
No, correct, Stephen. I don't think we have that domination or that hegemony, because our support for this African continent started even when we had to join it in 1994. We were already thrown into the deep end of conflict resolution management. And when it comes to issues of governance, issues of parliament, we were again coming forth to say that this is what we can offer as part of what they will call continental solidarity. But the issue of them, as I was hearing, they will keep on saying we want the relocation of this. But remember that this parliament, South Africa even was in contestation with Libya. Libya wanted the seat of the parliament to go to Libya, but Libya was not ready due to the geopolitics of that time. But the issue of us being accused of being hegemonic, dominating, I don't think it is fair, because the members of parliament that we are seeing at the SADC level, we see them from Zimbabwe, Windhoek. One can say that it's not only South Africa-led initiative only. Even if we know that the former member of the same parliament, Thandi Modise, last week emphasized on the issues of unity, rotation. But for me, what still worries me again, SG, is the impact of this parliament. What value, what currency, what is it that it can benefit the broader continent? With the current crisis we are having in Mali, Tigrinya, in our neighbors in Mozambique, why this parliament, it is like it's mute? And is it a real parliament? Because in a legal context, a parliament must legislate. A parliament must play oversight. A parliament must be accessible to its citizens. But what we see later, we see a parliament of only elites and the parliament that has only greediness on power.
Sipho Mantula, researcher at the Thabo Mbeki School of Public and International Affairs. Really do appreciate the time. Thank you.